What are they selling? They're selling watches! The High Life, another Gerald episode. In this episode, Gerald sees a pair of skates he likes. He wants to buy them, but unfortunately, Gerald doesn't have the money. So he decides to get a job. And rather than do something simple like work at a store, sell papers, he decides he's going to sell these watches. And Gerald winds up being a pretty efficient salesman. You know, he's demonstrating how they're unbreakable, and he's very aggressive with his ads, and is pretty much able to sell watches to everyone in the city, or at least the area where he lives. Then he comes into a problem because he's getting more and more watches to sell, and Gerald finds that he's sold watches to everyone he knows, and there isn't a demand for them anymore. Supply and demand, economics. And he's basically, he's kind of broke. But Arnold comes up with an idea to brag about how he's doing well and feels they should expand the watch business to other areas. But in order to do that, they need more watches. So the company doesn't have many watches because they shipped them all to Gerald and presumably all the other kids that they're trying to sucker into. And so he needs more watches, so Gerald convinces him to buy all the watches back from him. And Gerald's pretty rich, but his dad winds up taking most of the money to cover the expenses Gerald had when he was doing the watch thing, such as buying a second cell phone, the phone bill, all that stuff. And then his sister takes the other dollar, which was kind of cute. And again, this is another one, not as relatable as the other one, but one I did really enjoy. Because again, similar to the last episode, you understand where Gerald's coming from. When you're a kid, there's a lot of stuff you want, but you don't really have the money to buy it. You kind of have to wait for Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or your birthday. Pray that you have a friend who has them, who can let you borrow that stuff or go over to their house and play it. So Gerald wanting something and needing the money, that's something I could relate to. Like growing up, there were all these video game consoles and video games I wanted, and didn't have the money for it, so just had to wait for the holidays. And now I'm older, I have money, and I can just browse GameStop and find them on sale for $5 and buy them. Life is good. But yeah, so when Gerald wants the skates, I could completely relate to him. And even when Gerald's successful, like, I kind of, as much as I wanted to dislike him, like, again, he's justified. When you're young, you don't really have a concept of money. Just having money, believing that the success will last forever. Like, you can totally get how he'd want to stay on that. I mean, like, at first I was like, why isn't he going for the skates he wants to? But, you know, Gerald's, like, enjoying the high life. And he's a surprisingly effective salesman. Like, I remember in my Boy Scout and marching band days when I'd go selling cheesecakes to raise money for our trip to Disney World. Yes, we did that. Or popcorn sales for Boy Scouts. And I remember I do okay. Along with being an entertaining episode, it's actually teaching kids economics, like supply and demand. You want to keep the consumer wanting. The point to selling things is to make the consumer think that there's something they don't have that they need. And the idea that the more you have, the harder it is to sell it, and particularly if it's something that everyone has. Even Gerald's plan of selling all the watches back, I thought, was very, very creative. I also liked how Gerald lost all his money at the end. It does teach a very valuable life lesson. The downside to earning money is that you spend a lot of it on expenses. Yeah, I mean, good episode, teaching people the life of money. I do love the opening shot of Arnold and Gerald skateboarding. Camera's low-angle shot contrasting the high life Gerald's gonna live later on. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. I'm interested to hear your opinion, whatever it is, as always. And come back next time where I do talk about some more episodes of Hey Arnold. So until then, take care. Bye.